Hey guys, it's Steph. Alright, so I'm gonna talk about Django Unchained, directed by Quentin Tarantino, starring Christoph Waltz, Jamie Foxx, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Kerry Washington. It's set in the Old West, right before the Civil War. It's about a slave who was bought by a bounty hunter who promises to set him free after he helps him find the Brittle brothers, who are his bounty. Django is also in search of his wife, and lots of things happen and they end up staying together on a long adventure as partners, and it's great. Fun for the whole family. Just kidding. It's painful to watch, like any other Tarantino movie. The first scene was both gory and shocking. Also, right away I fell in love with Christoph Waltz's character. He is such a great actor. If you don't know who I'm talking about, he is the dentist in this movie, and hopefully you all recognize him from Inglourious Basterds. Another great performance. Anyway, I loved the contrast between his character's comical violence, spurts, and indifference, and Jamie Foxx's character, Django, with his solemn, serious anger and spurts of violence, which did eventually evolve into cockiness, which actually kind of bugged me, but watch the movie and you'll see what I mean. And his character came complete with disturbingly painful flashbacks of his slavery. It's great. Side note, you know how sometimes history is too painful to think about? Well, when you see something like this, it reminds you that slavery is wrong. Anyway, the plot carried itself super well. I was actively engaged the entire time. All freaking 2.5 hours of it. Django's sporadic spurts of rage always caught me off guard. The look on his face when he first whips that guy is like crazy. Woo! I'm positive he did. And I think at one point I saw Jonah Hill. Which reminds me, there were a bunch of little funny moments like inserted throughout the film. One part that stood out was the raid scene with the bags and the holes for the eyes. Just, if you see the movie, you'll get it. It was hilarious and I loved it. It was great. I wasn't expecting that from this kind of movie. And it was a nice little balance. It was a nice way to ground us from all the violence and killing and stuff, because there's a lot of that in this movie. If it wasn't clear enough that they are not good guys when they shoot those men in cold blood, it becomes clear when they watch that man get ripped to shreds by dogs. This is a badass Western film. There are no good guys. Everyone is in it for themselves, and there are guys that are more bad than the main characters, and then there are the main characters who don't mind killing people and who don't mind causing bloodshed. So I'd say although Django and the Doctor are the main characters and you like them and you want them to prevail, they're not the best guys. They're not good. So another big name who makes his appearance in this is Samuel L. Jackson, and his character is actually super hilarious at first, but he ends up just being this terrible person and I hate him so much. Which I guess is good. It means he did his job, because I actually appreciate Samuel L. Jackson as an actor, and to watch a movie and actually hate his guts, that's a good job on him. Which brings me to Leonardo DiCaprio. He was so unbelievably phenomenal. He stole the show in my opinion. All of his scenes, I could not take my eyes off of him. Fun fact for those of you who haven't heard, during that scene where Leonardo DiCaprio is freaking the fuck out and he slams his hand on the table, it actually does start to bleed, and the blood in that shot is actually his real blood. And despite this, DiCaprio continues in the scene, bleeding everywhere, staying in character, and that is the scene that they end up using. Quentin Tarantino takes this shit seriously. Which reminds me, another fun fact from Inglourious Basterds, another Quentin Tarantino movie, that part where Christoph Waltz's character is choking that woman, he's actually choking her to make it look more real. Tarantino actually asked her if she wouldn't mind doing that, and she said sure. So during that shot where he's choking her, he's actually cutting off her air. That's the kind of movie that I want to spend my money on. I love it. Anyway, DiCaprio. Give this man an Oscar. No, really, I can't believe he still doesn't have one. Oh, also, another random thing about this movie. I really enjoyed the camera work. They did a lot of close-ups on inanimate objects, like little quick clips of them that really made a scene. And then they did a lot of like quick zoom-ins on the character for dramatic effect. It was great. And with the zoom-ins, they would zoom in really quickly with the zoom-in noise that went shh. And it was just, I think it was meant to be funny / dramatic, and it worked, and I liked it, and it was perfect for this movie. So yeah, I'm trying to think of any criticism. Just so you know, Django is not too cool to walk away from an explosion. In fact, he is just cool enough that he can stand there and watch it and enjoy his work. And I love that. Also, I didn't talk about Kerry Washington. This was the first movie I've seen her in, and she's gorgeous, and I thought she did a great job. Yeah. Alright, there it is, Django Unchained. I highly recommend watching this movie. I give it 4.5 stars. Alright, thank you for watching my review. If you liked it, hit like. If not, DCO has a lot of other stuff to offer, so I recommend that you take a look. Also, stay tuned next week on Wednesday, where I review The Great Gatsby, another Leonardo DiCaprio masterpiece. DCO. We are the media.